Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Card Craft. Thanks for joining me again today. Part 2 of my 49 and Market journal. I really should give this a name. I'll come up with something, I'm sure. Otherwise, please suggest what to call it. I'm not great at naming my journals. So, part 2. As promised, I went through my die cut sheet, my laser cut sheet, and pulled them all out and just popped them in a little container so that I could have quicker access to them. I have also gone round each one and just inked my white core edges like I usually do. But that's all I've done. Promised I wouldn't do any more until I was back on camera. So as you can see, there's my 2 signatures from last time, and there's all our scrap that we've got to use from the actual collection pack. So we've got, well, apart from our coffee dyed paper that I used to pad out my signatures, which are those ones, and we've got our bits and pieces left over from the actual collection pack to create the rest of our page, well, not the pages themselves, but all our pockets and tucks and all the rest in these, including what was the cover sheet, which of course had the old book pages on the inside. I've been looking at this, may use this one, but probably not. I reckon what I'll do is I'll use this square and probably pieces of these that are in here. First day of school, it's not going to be a school journal, so I'm not worried about that. Whether I cut this out and use this as a frame yet is still, you know, up in the air. I've really done nothing with it because I just wanted to literally do it on camera. So I'm just going to set these ones to the side. The only other things I've pulled out for this time, I've always got my stamps close and my inks close because they're just a given. I have pulled out a few stencils to use because I like to use my inks in just about everything. If I'm not stamping, I'm stenciling. So one of my favourite stencils to use is a Carta Bella stencil, and it's just lines. I like actual writing, journaling places in my journals, so quite often my coffee dyed paper will have that on it, or a stamp, or I will hand draw lines. So we'll use that one today. I've also got some Witchcraft Do You Do stencils. Again, I like those on my coffee dyed paper. This is just in an old container that I had. So I've got both the negative and the positive, and they're just little flower stencils. Just quick and easy bits that will add to your journal as you go through. So going back to our first signature that we were doing the other day, we'd done this one and this one. Got this side and this is what I was talking about. And I'll pull that one out. I like to use my coffee dyed paper for my journaling places, but what I like to actually do with them is stamp and line. So what I'm going to do is, let me just pull out darkroom door set stamps, because my stamps just sit to the side of me, so I always tend to use them. Everything else is vintage, so maybe not flowers. I want something tall, vintagey tall. Oh, I've got this beautiful old water fountain. It's not really going to go with any of that. I want to leave things. I do have, bear with me 5 seconds. Over on my other wall, I have, right, that's what I'm looking for. Sorry. Too many stamps, and they're all around the room. More darkroom door stamps, but I've got a book set which will work a treat on this. So because it's a stamp, I can actually offset it from the page. So if I get some scrap paper, like so, my stamping mat, put my scrap paper on there, sitting this on here, I will need a block that'll fit that one, which should be that. Let's just make sure that they're nice and straight. All right, so I've lined this book with this line, so I know that it's on my grid straight, assuming that that book would be straight as they went up in their pile. And I'll go coffee because it's a nice dark brown. So I like to turn all mine sideways so that when I'm stamping, I can give myself a good hand hold. Okay, I'll move that up just a little bit. And I want to go off the page a little bit, like so. So we'll just ink that one up, like so. So I'm just going over with my ink pad, giving it a really good coating of ink. Setting that to the side, bringing that down somewhere around about there, so that I've got half the books and the other half are off the page. Which is again why I like stamps, because I can do so much with them. Okay, so there's that one. And then with my stencil, all I'm going to do is put in my journaling lines. Now, as I said before, I could stamp that. I've got stamps with lines on them, but not big ones. Quite often I will sit it on my grid and actually draw lines. But what I want to do with this one is just sit my stencil there. So with my brushed corduroy in my distress ink, which is a mid-sized brown, ink up my brush, sit this on so that it's fairly straight, and just work my way down my lines. Now, I don't mind if it's a little bit variegated, I suppose would be the word, so that it's not quite perfect. I don't want perfect. I want it to finish in and out and just be there, but not really be there. Does that make sense? I know what I mean. So I'm just gonna, and I want to go round my stamped books. So I haven't actually adhered my stencil down. Quite often if I'm doing detailed work with stencils, I will use my washi tape and stick it right down around the sides so that it doesn't want to lift up or anything else. But this I just want in this in and out look, so that it's there. So if we lift it up, so you can see that it's there but not really there. So you can see you've actually got writing space and that page is for writing, but it's not in your face. So all I'm going to do down here is find where one of these lines are. There's a line. Sit that on there. Now the lines are on this stencil, some are thick, some are thin. So it again gives that overall look of just, I don't know, what's the word? So, I'm all over the show today, aren't I? So it's not, perfect would be the word. And I hate that word perfect. I really hate the word perfect. But yeah, so that I've got it in there, but not really. It's a great way to do a journaling page. So when we go back into our book, this slot's in here. So I've got one, I still haven't done my front cover, of course, two, and I've got a journaling page ready to go in that one. As I said before, I will do the same sort of thing on this one. And we might actually pull out one of these stencils and do the whole thing with stencils. So I've got Let's have a look at some of these. As I said, these are Witchcraft Can You Do stencils. I've got them in, so like, two versions, large and small. So I like that. I quite like that. Now, might actually do that in a tea dye, as in the tea dye ink. So what I want to do, so that I don't continue to use the same colour, that brushed corduroy, through it, I've actually got some blues and some greens, greeny browns. How about we actually use green? Let's have a look at it. So I've just pulled up my inks here. What about ice spruce? That might look quite nice in that. So what I want for that one, browns, blues. I'll just make sure nothing's coming off on that. So I've just pulled out one of the Distress stencil brushes. They're just like this. I have it marked, so I just use this one for blues. I've got another one that I use just for browns, because I use browns so often. So I'll just find a piece of scrap. Make sure I've got, see, there's nothing on that. Even though it's stained blue, there is nothing actually on it. So pull this one out. Do I want it to the side? No, we'll go that way, I'm thinking. Now, because this one, I don't want all these to lift, I'm going to actually use a little bit of washi tape and stick the whole thing down, just so it won't move on me while I'm doing all this. And as you can see, this is old washi tape because it wants to rip. And that's what I use these ones for, just for all my stenciling. Right. One down there. One down the bottom, which will just help me hold it as I go. And I'll watch these bits. So just with the iced spruce, we'll see what the colour's like as we go on. I'm hoping it's not too much and too in your face. Still remember, even though we're using the stencil brush, still just keep going back and picking up ink. With these ones, if you want it so that you get a stronger one, stronger ink, take this, they're like a lipstick tube. Take this down a little bit further so that you get a more concentrated ink on it. For me, I tend to use it that way, just like the old stipple brushes from years ago, because really that's all they are. They're just a stipple brush, but in a trendy form that says Tim Holtz. I moved that. I shouldn't really have my ink on that. I'm holding my stencil down, but I forgot about my paper. Like so. And I'll move that out, I think, because that just asks for trouble. So again, I'm just giving that a light blush with it, just to again give that variegated look. And I reckon that that should be enough. Let's have a look. Move that to the side. Always got things on the side. Lift up this one. Yep, beautiful. Just what I'm after for a journaling page. Put that to the side, and I will wipe my stencils later on. So back to this stencil now, and I'm just going to sit it on. Back to my brushed corduroy, and I'm just going to wipe generally down, going around. I can still see where my original stenciled image is. So I'm going close to my edge. I have gone around between videos and inked all my papers, including my center fold. I was going to say seam. Because I like those all done and I like to see that center fold in there. Now I'm going to go this side as well, and I'm sure you guys didn't want to sit there and just watch me ink around everything. Oh, very nice. Right, so I'll move that up so you can see that. I'll attach that one to where that line is, and we'll go down here. Oh, something's going on outside. Lots and lots of car horns. We're meant to get, what was it they said on the radio before? I was taking my son into work. They went extreme weather. Now, extreme weather for us, we don't get much extreme weather. So I'd say that might be a little bit of rain and maybe a thunderstorm. So we're not going to get much, but, yes, it's just started to rain now. I've turned around and looked at the window. How's that? That's how I like to do my actual journaling pages. My other pages are tucks and pockets and eye candy and all that fun stuff. But my actual journaling pages, I like to have as journaling. So that one, of course, will go in there. In there, we need to do the other side of this. So this one we're going to actually decorate. So what we'll do with him is go back to our original piles. I'll just move those stamps back away, give me some space. Right, pull my sleeves up because I've got on one of my snuggly Sunday jumpers, even though it's Saturday, and the sleeves keep coming down. Right, so here's all my scraps. And I want to do something on this page. Which for me normally is a little tag and a tuck. You've got these little bits left over. There is no reason why you can't use these little bits and have a side tuck in here. So if we do like a journaling card, so nice and easy. Get rid of that core colour again. I told you I didn't do everything while you weren't on film. I just did the bits and then actually put it aside and went on to other projects. So it's been, I don't know, 4 days or so since I did the original one. And that's going to go in there like so. I'm not going to stick it down yet. Just going to wait and see what I've got. So I want something as journal spot. Where's my big sheet? Here. See, now I could use that one, but it was that one we said we were going to use, wasn't it? There is no reason why I can't. I've just had a thought. That's scary. So I'm just going to chop this one out. He should fit perfectly in it. Well, it's not very straight cutting, but I have a tendency not to chop through it to make it smaller, because then I might chop something off that I don't want chopped off. All right, set you to the side again. And around that one. So just, and I know it's got first day of school, so in which case I'm going to need to go that way to make that. I want everything. I want to rough up that side. I'm not going to rough up this side because I want him to slide in beautifully. As I said before in the first video, you can use scissors for this. Just do a little wind down that one. And what I'm going to do is use my coffee paper over the top of where it says first day of school. So that way I still get to use this one. I will put coffee paper on the other side as well, so that it becomes a journaling posie. Set that aside. And with my scraps of coffee paper, I don't mind if that's a little bit narrower, because then I can get that black border in, can't I? So that's that one, pencil. I've done it again. See, I get so excited about let's just turn on the video and start that I never remember to actually look at the time. And I promise that this one won't be as long as the first one. That first one ended up being 1 hour and 8 minutes. There, so now we can't see first day of school. But it probably still needs something as an embellishment on that front cover. So if that one's going to be adhered to that, this one we need to cover the whole thing. So again, I'll use, it's going to fit. Beautiful. So, glue stick, piece of scrap. Do I have any? Do I have any? Yep, there's one. Right. Right, making sure I've got all my corners. Put that aside. And I like that darker side better. That can go on there. And you will be pleased to know I have changed that cloth and I've got a new one that's not quite as hideous. Still got a little bit going on because I changed it the other day. But I'd really like, here we go, my little scissors. Right. So I've got that a little bit wonky. It is an old chalkboard, supposedly, so I don't need it too straight. Chop off my corners as I go round and down. Right. Just give that a little bit of a blurring of the edges, I suppose, would be the best bit to do. And I'm just going to grab my old store card just to make sure that that's nice and flat. Right, this one, as we said, is going to go on here, and let's look into our bits and bobs. So these are all the bits that were in the laser cut section, and there's some beautiful, you know, like, aren't these gorgeous? Really, probably only needs something like that. Something like that with, how about we then put, oh, excuse me. All right, back into the Witchcraft You Do stamps. I love the signature stamps. So, do we go a signature or do I go that full address? Like that. I might do that. Or, yeah, I'll use that one in another one. I've got an old wooden stamp thing that's got an address on it as well. So, I'm going to stamp those first and then we'll adhere it on. So I just want to sit that in place so I know round about where that one's going to sit. And I'll grab another block. Just a little block. And that's going to go that way. Again, in that coffee ink. So I'll just ink that one up. Just on an angle. Like that. Beautiful. All right. So now I'll adhere this one onto the front of that. Glue stick again. So, no, I still haven't thought of what I'm going to do for a cover because I'm waiting for this journal to speak to me and it'll tell me. It'll end up telling me what sort of cover it wants. I've got a few things running around in my head, but I just want to wait and see what comes out with it to see what I need to do. Right, sorry, thinking. So yes, each time I'm driving, usually my mind's all over it and I'm thinking of different things, come up with a couple of different options. But yeah, we'll wait until I've got my signatures done. I know they're going to be sewn in. I know they're going to be a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And I can get all that sorted and then work my cover out. I've got my tweezers here. Snapped that fingernail off this morning, so I'm useless at the moment. Right. Push that down. So I've made a little journal card, and that little journal card will tuck into this one, and I want that edge as my opening edge, so we'll just go straight down. I like little tucks like this, so they don't necessarily have to be tags each time. You can journal on tags, you can make the little journal cards. It's up to you. You can even put the lid on the glue. Look at that. Right. So somewhere centered. Give that a push. And I always push it with my cloth so that if glue seeps out, my cloth's grabbing it at the same time. Should really wait for that to dry, but that just fits in there beautifully like that. And then we've got our journal page, our next journal page, and then back to whatever I did with, here we go, the rest of it. Right, so I've got something for, I love this paper. Oh, I love this paper. It is beautiful. Right, so with this one, I'm going to do another tag and another pocket. Let's have a look. I've got a pile of tags sitting here that I want to cover with some of my coffee dyed paper or whatever else. You've got to remember I've got 2 signatures to do with the bits that I've got here. So really there's not many bits left. So let's pull them out. Right, so the blues are not going to work for starters. Nope and nope. So on these 2, and they're both the black ones, which we proved last time. See, that will actually be able to be journaled on. And if I put something on that, let's have a look. Should that go that way? Yes, I'm thinking that goes that way. Like that. We used that one last time. Let's go away from that one. I can still journal on this one. We can use that black. Right, let's just trim that off. Let's move that. Alright, so we'll make a tag. About 2 1/4. That's what we worked out last time, wasn't it? 2 1/2. I can have a fat tag. Right, so let's go 2 1/2. So that will work as a tag, and we'll find something to cover that one. So once again, we'll just chop our tag corners. Oh, so much mess, Kylie. Trim that and get rid of all that stuff that's on my scissors. Done. And that one. So there's my black tag. Let's have a look at our bits and bobs again in here. There was that beautiful, look at this. How's that? It is the only flower in there, but it just works a treat. And if I go with my Distress Oxide again in the antique linen and put something behind that, just even on this side, and we might do, oh, I've got, here we go, here we go, here we go. I've got a Harlequin, I think they call it a Harlequin. It's an old rubber stamp, but it's got this distressed pattern in it, and I could just go on the edge, couldn't I? So let's do that. Grab that one again. As you can see, I use lots of stamps because I just find that they're so versatile. Do I want to just do this way without a block, I'm thinking? All right, move that over. I've dropped the camera lower this time so that you can actually see, whereas with the first video I had it up higher so that we covered that 12 by 12, but I've dropped it right down this time, and I need a piece of scrap. I need a piece of scrap. Here we go. What I want to do is sit that there like that. That way I just get those ones and I can go over if need, you know, and I don't have to be so pedantic trying to just get there. All right. So I'm about 3 in, but I don't need to necessarily be all 3. And I'm just gonna lightly push in some areas, leave lighter in other areas. And so I've given myself that. Just wipe that before I sit everything on it. And this is how my cloths get so dirty. But that's all right. That's an old stamp from years ago. I can't remember even where I got it from, what brand it was or anything else, sorry. There are lots of little, I'm sure they used to call them Harlequin ones. Not quite certain. There are lots of different ones out there. I know Stampers Anonymous, Tim Holtz does another one that's slightly smaller, with a smaller triangle diamond in it, because I've actually got that in another set. But yeah, there's lots out there. So now, with that on there, and I might put a word on the top of that. So we'll glue that one. So yes, I'm using papers from this collection, but I am adding a few other bits and bobs. And it really just matters with what you've got sitting around. As I said, I have lots of stamps, lots of inks, so I like to use those and everything. You could have other bits of paper, you could have some lace, all sorts of things. Just depends on what you've got sitting there, just to pad it out. Flatten that one on. So there's glue coming out of that left, right and centre. See where it's coming out. Now, I said I wanted a word or something on there. We might think about that one, but I do definitely want a word on there. This side we need to do something with because we've got this. So if we use something like this with a stamped section, so all I need to do for that, sit that on, trying to find a that's almost empty. Need to watch that one. So I'm just going up to there. I'm going to use that piece again, which will just take it to that one because I don't want to go over. Right. And then I can adhere. I like that side. That one. Flatten that out. And I've got rid of that barcode piece that was in there. Now I can just trim it off. Like so. And I'll ink around the whole thing to get rid of the white core colour. And that's able to be written on that way. So, into the walnut stain. And probably won't need to do both sides. It's mainly getting rid of that white core colour and giving this side a little bit of blurring. Like so. Lovely. Set that there, and that there. Right, bring that back over. And we need something. Oh, that looks nice on that. Well, I think it looks nice. I'm happy with that. I need something for it to actually go in. So, let's have a look. Put that store card back over there first. See, that work. That would work with these, wouldn't it? That still gives me a fair whack of that left. Right. So I need that. I need that. For that page, I wanted about that. I don't, we're going to lose this section up here, but I will use this later on for something else. So, and I want my pocket from there to about that one. Because it's all got nice grid and all the rest, I can actually do that with my large scissors. So I'm just going to follow that grid line to, where are we going? I just take it to that grid line, I think. That might be the easiest. Chop off my barcode and keep that, because I'm not quite certain what I want to do with the rest of it yet. Well, that's not straight, but we get the idea. That looks pretty cool. That'll sit in there. Yes, that will definitely fit in that one. All right. Give him a slight ink. Get rid of that core colour. Done. And we'll adhere that one on. I'm going to get rid of that sleeve again. It's driving me insane. Because it's rather chilly. We're getting a whole 11 degrees today. This is Celsius. And yes, I know some of you get all those minuses, but we don't. We're not used to it. So 11 degrees is rather raw here. But the heater's going. It's quite pleasant. I'll take that one out. Quite pleasant as in inside the house with the heater going. And we'll adhere that down there. I've got the house to myself. It's just, don't you love those days? It's just, yeah, there's just nothing like it. All right, that's that one. And I really shouldn't be sticking these in straight away because I want to wait for that glue to dry. But in saying that, I'll just tuck it in for now. Anyway, Right, next page done. How many pages have we done? I always do this. As I'm working on a journal, I'll finish a page and then go back to the start and work my way through. And I know I haven't done that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages done. We've got another tag page here and then a couple more journal pages. This one will need to be fully covered, and that's that beautiful book, which technically would be journaling, I think. Oh, love those. Right, so we need to do something on this one. And let's have a think. Let's do something a little bit different. So if we put... I'm thinking, that's my thinking noise. That's my thinking noise. I could do a corner tuck. I could do, because I've got coming up, I've got where this one is folded out. So do I just do another journal card in there? And I want... let's do a belly band. Let's do a belly band with that one. That's beautiful. That works a treat. So, that way I still get to keep the books. It's not really straight, is it? This is what I'm after. I need to take that back a little bit there. Let's just have a look at that and see just how out of whack that is. Nope, that's looking pretty good now. Like so. Right. So, that still gives me my pen. I've got in my laser cut pieces, there were more book bits and all the rest. Let's just have a look. This one I actually want to do, and when I was pulling this one out, I was already looking at it, because what I want to do on this last page is he fits just beautifully, but I want to cover this side with acetate and make a side pocket. So I know what I want to do with that one. And I probably should do that before I lose it, but I don't think I've got any acetate here at the moment. It's sitting in one of my other desk drawers. So let's have a look and see how else I can put bits and bobs on this. Some of these are beautiful. Some of these make beautiful journaling cards as is. So all I need are the pockets, aren't they? So something like that. Like, what else do I need to do for that? That's just awesome. But what it'll mean to make that a journaling section, we may need something like this in here. So, what have we got size-wise? We might tear this. Like so. Like that. And then it is a journaling posse, isn't it? Right. So let's see if this glue stick will last this last little bit. I'm just checking where there's already some glue. We'll get this one done. Just. Because let's face it, I'm about to run out of glue stick anyway. And that's on the other side of the room. Or it's right under my table. I know I've got another one in my travelling pencil case under the table. So let's see how we go. And then that's given us another couple of pages for the day. I just want to keep going, but I promised you I wouldn't go forever this time. So I will upload this one shortly, or in a couple of days, because I'm actually doing this one the day that I've uploaded number 1. As I said, I sat on number 1 for 3 or 4 days. Did that on the Monday or Tuesday, and it's now the Saturday. I finally uploaded number 1, and now I'm already doing number 2, so it probably won't be far away before I upload this one, because it's just killing me not being able to do this. Right. Oh, it's got lines, see? So you can follow your lines, kind of. Give that a push. See, and you can see how I get my cloths so gunky so quickly. It may look like I never ever change them, never ever clean them, but it's the fact that they get so gunky so quickly. Well, that was a quick page and a little bit different. So I've got my journaling posse on the back. I've got my belly band on the front. If I've got a fingernail, I can put that under. Sit that in there. Sit that in there and that in there. So I'm pleased with that. We've done, I reckon I've been on here about 40 minutes, so that should be it. So I've done one with the journal tag. Move that back down to the centre. I've done a journal page, another journal page, another tag, journaling underneath, and another one on there. One more journaling page, and let's just leave this one without the writing space on it, and we can just pop something in there, and then we're almost halfway through this signature, and we'll give up for the day. So we'll do this one, and then that's it. How's that? So if we go back to our bits and bobs, let's have a look. So isn't he beautiful? But he will actually make a lovely tuck pocket too. We'll put him back. We'll put him back. I want to use them, and I don't want to use them, because they make just such beautiful. That one I can't use as a tuck. So how about we give that something else going on there. Let's go back to these stencils. And I only bought out single stencils. I didn't bring out full background ones. Oh, what's on those? These are more Witchcrafty Do ones. Let's have a look. I've got my coffee to... Case file's not going to work. And the reason I bought this entire set was just for those. Just... I love those. And I like the dots and bits on that one. You can tell I've used that one heaps. Those. Let's just go that one with the number. Alright, I'll put that one in. That's going to have that. I'm going to set that flat. And it's going to have my number up here. And I might go again in that Iced Spruce Distress ink, which was that one. Just for a little bit of a change, because, wow, I'm actually using something other than brown. Get that nicely inked up. It's not a very large stencil, so I can hang on to it as I go. And I'm going to give it some darker areas because it's against that bluish, bluey grey page. So it doesn't need to be quite as faded. Sorry, am I rubbing the video camera there? It was against my hand. And a little bit more in there. Let's just have a quick look. Yeah, like that. Yes, definitely time to pack up my mess. Right, and I'll adhere this one down there, So just very quickly around there, and we could nearly say that we're up to halfway, almost. So it's definitely easier to make your signatures and organise all that than it is to decorate them. Or it's quicker. Not necessarily easier, but quicker. Because it's all that fiddling around trying to find for a pocket and for a tuck and then for a tag and all those sorts of bits. There's so many options out there to use. Whereas a signature is just paper folded. There is nothing to doing your actual signatures. So, yep, we're almost at halfway. So, and it's not being bulked out too much, so I'm happy with that, because that was my main concern, because this paper was so thick. So we've added a little bit because we've got some pockets and things in there, but when you end up with pages like that with just the stamping and the stenciling, it thins it back out again. And that one, and that one, ready to do that. Hope you've enjoyed a little bit more of this journal. Stick with me, we'll get it all done. You never know, I may even get quicker as we go along. Thanks for that. Bye for now. Until next time, happy crafting. Thanks, guys.